gathered in their masses.
Get out the way.
Just like witches at black masses.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Evil minds that plot destruction.
Get out the way.
Sorcerer of death's construction.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
In the fields of bodies burning.
Get out the way.
As the war machine keeps
Get out
turning.
the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Death and hatred to mankind.
Get out the way.
Poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Oh no! The fight's out! I'm about to punch your lights out!
Yo, 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 Redlist Radio on the air. Today would be Thursday, November 17th, 2011.
We are broadcasting live from Studio 99, deep inside FEMA Region 9. And as my wonderful co-host just pointed out, it is November 17th, and it is the National Day of Action, according to Occupy Wall Street, and shit is going down.
Fix your mic a little bit. I think mine's picking you up more than yours is for some reason. So I figured we would circle back to this Occupy Wall Street stuff because we got a lot to talk about on that one. I do. But a while ago we've kind of had some requests from folks on our Twitter account that follow us and so forth.
Yeah, apparently we have a small but very vocal Pakistani following.
Overseas following.
And actually I'm probably pissing them off by calling them Pakistanis, but we'll get to that in a second. For all intents and purposes, as far as the rest of the modern world is concerned, that is the region of the world where they reside.
Right, exactly. So we've been getting tweets from a few folks about this issue with regards to. I'm gonna probably butcher the hell out of this, but I believe it's pronounced Balochistan, and which is essentially a province within the country of Pakistan. If you can imagine that our state is broken, or our country is broken up to a bunch of different states. Pakistan has something similar, but these are known as provinces. Maybe you want to call them counties or prefectures or what have you, but along the same lines. Okay, Balochistan being one of them. We received an article today that is actually in English, so we can kind of read through it, and it's from. I think it's actually from today,
and they, to their credit, they've sent us a fuckload of articles, and they sent some that were in English previously, and they sent some that were translated, and reading through them in English, like it's hard to decipher what's going on. This isn't something that is getting like any sort of media coverage or anything, and like I don't know, I kind of wanted to defend our point of view before we get started on this. Like we're not a paid media organization. We're not making money. We're just two fucking guys sitting here shooting the shit, talking about crazy stuff that's happening in the world. So we don't have any sort of budget to do any sort of investigative journalism and like fly to fucking Balochistan and fucking get the story on the ground and shit. You know, so it's hard for us to give like a real accurate storytelling. And you know, we can take the word of the people who are on one side of the issue, but that's not totally like a truthful storytelling. You know, we're taking their word for it, and it may very well be true, but we don't know the whole story. You know, we don't have that kind of information.
Right. Exactly.
But basically, from what I gather, and correct me if I'm wrong, you seem to have read a little more about this than I did, that essentially they wish to be their own country. They don't want to be part of Pakistan.
Yeah,
and there may be some sort of like old standing laws or agreements or whatever that like they are supposed to be sovereign.
And it may just be some sort of various sect of citizens within this province. I'm not too sure myself on that either. We can only go off of what we've been sent, what we've been reading.
And where they're located is the I guess southwest, not the southernmost section, but southwest area of Pakistan, south of Afghanistan, and east of Iran. It looks like a pretty remote area. It's not.
This is all relative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's that's such a crazy part of the world for Americans to like even talk about if you haven't been there, because especially when you hear people who are our peers or whatever, other Americans that have gone there and the stories they tell and the way they describe things, or like I don't know if you saw. I got hooked on Vice Guide to Travel for a little bit, and
we used to get that magazine all the time back in the day. Remember the little tiny magazine that we would pick up at like the different like record stores or places where we would buy tickets to parties and raves.
Yeah.
And it was Vice.
Yeah.
The magazine was Vice. And they always had these fucking rad articles and fucking flyers to parties that you wouldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it was always like cool articles and shit. That was that fucking magazine. That little fucking.
But there was an episode where this dude went to Pakistan and I don't know. He went to some crazy part of Pakistan that is like the gun capital of the world.
Right.
And essentially, like, what they're doing there is all of the times where countries have attacked Afghanistan and Pakistan and that region, they've collected the weapons that were left behind.
Right.
And they're remaking them in caves, essentially. Like,
I saw the same episode. It's absolutely...
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny,
like, unbelievable
and
from
unless
an American
you see
perspective.
and unless you see it from an American's perspective, it's really one of those things. It's like, I guess truth is really a lot stranger than fiction, but it's hard to even believe it without seeing it for your own eyes. From the type of, I guess, information that we're fed here in the United States. Most people don't really get access to this type of information.
And I'm guessing that what the guys are trying to get out of having us shed a little light on the issue is to garner support and attention of the rest of the world. And it's tough, man, because like Pakistan's a really weird country for the rest of us because of the fact that like they're an ally country, yet they're like allied with China and the U.S. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a really weird situation. Like, not a lot of countries are going to be down to step in and help. China, especially, won't give a fuck. The United Nations, like, you got to have, like, something crazy going on for the United Nations to step in. Like, and it's relative to, like, how important your country is, or the leadership of your country is.
And that's if you really just sit there and believe all the BS that everything is just kind of diplomatic and things take time and work. But that's not really it, unless you have political influence and you're voting with your dollar and you have a lot of money, that's really not going to be heard so much. And that's the unfortunate, situation. And the underlying issue here that they ultimately wanted to bring up or want us to bring up is the fact that a lot of the men that in Balochistan that appear to be, politically motivated, up-and-comers,
red listers, essentially.
Yeah, red listers.
What we would refer to as red listers.
Exactly. Red listers are effectively being, as we would put it, disappeared.
Yeah.
The CIA in this country has been known for many years to do various different things of the sort in this country and in others. And from what I've read and what I've tried to research as much as I can, a lot of these, as they would put them, anti-government Baloch nationalists, they say that the numbers are in the thousands as far as how many have been actually, kidnapped or disappeared. And then, of course, all sorts of various different claims of torture and finding bodies and this and that and the other. And it sucks because it's such an unfortunate situation, and you're from an American perspective, we don't really deal with that as much in this country because we don't it's such a different I guess ethnicity and culture and
there's so many different things about it. One of the things that I wanted to point out that I don't know, the main guy, I'm going to butcher his name, but Sarmakar, the description he has on his Twitter is, "We cannot be sure of having something to live for unless we are willing to die for it." And I believe that was a quote from Martin Luther King, or a similar quote that...
Could have been Gandhi, too.
That a man who isn't willing to die for something has no purpose for living.
Right.
Or something to that effect.
Right.